What's up, guys? Philadelphia Phillies play last night, completely brutal, as I pegged the starting pitching matchup correctly, nailed that. They had a 4-0 lead into the 6th inning, 4-1 into the 7th. Bullpen, somewhat of an implosion, and they wind up losing the game, falling 5-4, giving it up in the 8th inning. Absolutely terrible. It looked like it was pretty much in the bag. I wasn't that concerned with the bullpen. And if you look at the stats in that game, Philly out-hit the Braves 9-4, I believe. The Braves had 5 runs off of 4 hits. How does that even happen? I don't know. That's like absolutely insane, like run scoring efficiency that never happens. The team never scores more runs than, very rarely. They score more runs than the amount of hits that they have, like really. Didn't expect that. Philly, I think, it was the right play to make there as the pretty decent-sized underdog. They were winning almost the whole game. They should have won. What can you do? I think it was obviously the side that had value there. All you can do is just keep making plays like that. Sometimes you're going to take these bad beats, but like I said, you need to just overcome the percentages with underdog plays like that. You don't even need to win 50% of those to profit when you're taking underdogs that are money line like plus 136 or somewhere in that range. You only have to win like maybe, 48% of those or something like that to overcome those odds and to be profiting on those particular games. So I think it was the right play to make. Quickly, if we look at Major League Baseball today, the American League is back in action. You got Houston, Minnesota, shifts to Minnesota for Game 3 with the series tied 1-1. Christian Javier is against Sonny Gray, or Javier against Sonny Gray. Gray, I think overall is the better pitcher there. If you just look at the season numbers, season-long numbers or whatever, Javier has put more men on base. His whip is like a little higher than you would like to see, and I think his ERA is slightly high as well. Gray with better numbers in that regard, but Javier he has a 0 OBA lifetime against Minnesota, although it's only in 15 at-bats, but they are 0 for 15 off of him lifetime, so that might give him like a slight edge earlier in the game, whereas Gray, I think, has like a 260 OBA against the Astros hitters. But overall, because I think Gray is the better pitcher, even if Javier has like the earlier edge maybe in the game, potentially, and the market looks like it might be moving up a little bit on Gray on Minnesota. It's a little bit hard to read this game. I would actually still lean Minnesota slightly. I know I've leaned to them in the whole series basically, but I think they're the team that has a little bit more value because of perception. They're not perceived as being the better team. So I don't think it's very strong, but that's the way I'd lean there. The other game I think is a little bit stronger, Baltimore, Texas. Dean Kremer against Nathan Eovaldi, and Kremer is definitely the worst of those two pitchers. I think there are a few edges that Texas has here. Kremer, I think his whip is like kind of high as well, like at least into the 1-2s. I forget, it might be higher than that. I'm not even sure. And his stats against Texas are not that good. I think in like the 290s OBA wise, whereas Eovaldi, his OBA against Baltimore is in the lower 200s, I believe, in like the 230 range. And his stats on the season have definitely been better. So I think he is the better pitcher in the matchup-wise between these two offenses. I think he has the better numbers as well. But unlike Kremer, Eovaldi does have a start under his belt already in the playoffs this year. He has at least one. He might even have 2 at this point. I think he just has 1. But Kremer does not yet. Kremer has not pitched in the playoffs yet. He's Baltimore's 3rd pitcher that they're running out there. So I think Texas has a lot of edges there, and that series has shifted to Texas as well, with Texas having won the first 2 in Baltimore as well. So, like, the one thing that might keep me off of Texas there is how desperate Baltimore might be. But like in the NBA and like playoff series in the NBA and such, you have like a zigzag phenomenon where teams that like really didn't do well and then there was like a lopsided result in game one or something, you'll see like the complete inverse happen, like a huge inversion into the next game because it's a momentum sport. Teams can adjust. I don't think that's as much the case in baseball because so much is dependent on like the starting pitching matchup, etc. It looks like more of the money than tickets are on Texas. I think the line has gone up a little bit on Texas. I would lean to Texas there overall. I think the matchup is better for them than it is for Baltimore for all the reasons I just laid out. Not going to play it, however, but the one play that I am actually going to have today, we have the NHL starting today, the National Hockey League. It's crazy. It's starting today. My Bruins play tomorrow. Today we got 3 games, and I think that there's a strong play here, and that's going to be on the Nashville Predators, one of the most hilarious names in pro sports. The Nashville Sex Offenders. Let's go. I think there are a lot of reasons to take Nashville here against Tampa. They're in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a favorite, but they've gone down a bit from in the 160s range down into the 150s. Looks like there's a lot of money coming in on Nashville, even though the higher ticket percentage might be on the other side on Tampa. So it looks like there is kind of reverse line movement going on here, at least against the ticket percentage. It's telling you that some of the bigger bets are on Nashville. I think that's the case, and I think you can understand why that is the case if you dig into this matchup a bit. Tampa Bay, they're like a perennial playoff team recently. Everybody considers them to be one of the better teams in the National Hockey League. Some people are picking them to go really far this year. They're good, and they looked good in preseason, 5-2 in the preseason, whereas Nashville, people haven't really thought much about them. They didn't make the playoffs last year, even though they were fairly close to getting in. They had an above 500 record. People don't put that much stock into Nashville. The preseason this year, they haven't done well, 1-4, and Tampa beat them twice in the preseason, I believe, went 2-0 against them. So everybody's going to look at all that and think, like, why would you want to take Nashville? Like, Tampa is playing better in preseason. Well, I don't think preseason means much of anything at all, just like in the NFL. I don't think there's much stock to put into that at all. I think Nashville's going to come to play here. I think they probably think that they're being like undervalued, which I believe they are. But one of the main factors in this game that pushes this over the edge for me is the goaltending matchup. And Nashville, by the way, does have a new head coach, so they're trying to like shift some things around. And it looks like they might be trying to enter like into rebuilding mode, but I don't think that could be the case when you're a team that almost made the playoffs last year. I think you're just trying to shift some things around. I think the fact they have a new coach, yeah, they're going to have to get used to having him, but I think it can be a boost as well if you didn't like your previous coach. It can kind of boost like the atmosphere, the clubhouse atmosphere a bit. But the main reason I like Nashville here is what's going on with the goaltender situation here. Nashville has Juice Saros, Juice. The juice is loose. Not O.J. Simpson. I don't think he's murdered anybody. But he is a murderer in the net, let's say, because he stops almost everything. He's one of the best goaltenders in hockey. He's usually like in the fight as like a Vezina candidate. He's a great goalie, one of the best in the league. Saros, I trust him. His numbers are good, but in addition to that, up against him, Tampa, I honestly don't even know who they have in net because they're supposed to have Vasilevsky. He's their star goalie, but he's had back surgery and he's on injured reserve. I don't think they even know when he's coming back. So he's out. Vasilevsky is out. Saros is playing for Nashville, and I think that's a huge edge for Nashville. Nashville has like a nice underdog price. I believe I took them at plus 136, even though that's what I took the Phillies at yesterday. I think there's a lot of value to be had with the Nashville Predators here, getting a sizable underdog price. Money line, let's do it. Nashville, plus 136. When you look at these sports like baseball, hockey, the money line sports, you can play like a run line or a puck line, but usually in a line that's like as close as it is here. I don't like to do that because, like, if I was taking Nashville plus 1.5 on the puck line there to get within 1.5 goals, I'd have to lay like minus 160 or something like that. I don't like doing that. I don't prefer that, especially not, in hockey. I'm just playing the money line plus 136. I think there's value there. They should have the goaltending edge in a significant way. I think they're just being undervalued perception-wise. So let's go. Nashville Predators plus 136. And real quick, there are some college football games tonight in some of the smaller conferences. We get Tuesday play now, which I thought used to just be the MAC that would start playing on Tuesday later in the season. But today we got some other, I don't even know what conferences these are right now. CUSA maybe, or Sunbelt. I don't even know what's happening here. I don't know if there's that much to be said about any of these. I see that Middle Tennessee is flipped from what looks like a 1.5 dog to a 3 favorite. I can't really comment on why that would be the case. I just see that the line looks like it has moved that way. If I have any lean at all in college football, it's not strong at all, but I would say it would be to Liberty, who is up to a 6.5 point favorite on the road and gone up from 5.5. It looks like they're teetering on 7. They're at Jacksonville State. I think people are going to look at this matchup and think it's 5-0 Liberty. I think against 5-1 maybe Jacksonville State, something like that. People are going to look at it and think Liberty's laying a lot of points on the road. It looks like both of these teams are good. It should be competitive. There should be value on the home dog. I don't think that's the case in a matchup like this. I think Liberty is a significant team. People are also going to look at the fact that they were like a 21-point favorite last week and barely won. Liberty did, whereas Jacksonville State, I believe, won at Middle Tennessee pretty convincingly. Although Jacksonville State has extra rest, I believe, because I think that game was earlier in the week. But I think people are going to look at that. I think there's value on the home dog, Jacksonville State. Yeah, I don't really think so. I think Liberty just kind of thought they could show up and win the game in that last one. They are the much better team. The numbers telling you that. I would only lean that way in that game. Those are my comments on all of the things that I'm looking at this morning. Long videos in the morning now, man. I can't shut up. But the actual play, once again, Nashville Predators in the NHL kickoff, the first day of NHL. Nashville Predators plus 136. Do it. Go get it. Let's go.